Feliz Año. Happy New Year. I learned a little bit of Spanish. Poquito. Yes, what an amazing turnout today. So happy to see everybody's faces. I've got a couple of things that I would love to go over with you today, so bear with me as I bounce back and forth over a couple of things. I'm glad to be here, and we're going to start off with a short video clip.
Success, Think Like a Success has hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. I'm very proud of the book, and not just because it's doing well, but because it has the potential to help so many of you find fulfillment, which is the reason I wrote the book in the first place. And I want to talk to you about a chapter in the book, chapter 3, which I entitled, Take the Lid Off the Jar. Those of you who own a pet, a dog, you're very familiar with they have the possibility of catching fleas. Fleas are one of the smallest insects. Fleas have one of the highest vertical leaps of any living insect based on their size. A flea has a 36-inch vertical leap. Now, if you capture a flea and you put it in a jar and you put the lid on the jar, that flea still has a 36 vertical leap. So it will start jumping in that jar until it hits his head. And once it hits his head, he starts making adjustments. So then the flea reduces his jump and he jumps just high enough to where he almost touches it, but he don't hit the lid and get knocked back down. Now, if you put another flea in there, that flea has a 36-inch vertical. And then once they find out they get knocked down a little bit, that flea starts jumping just before the lid so it don't get knocked down. Funny thing happens. If these fleas have baby fleas in a jar, these fleas are born with a 36-inch vertical. But because their parents are showing them only a 4 or 5-inch jump so they don't get hit, these baby fleas who are born with 36-inch verticals, they jump just as high as their parents jump. And what we do as people is we do the same things. We allow our environment to dictate to us. We allow our friends to dictate to us, our circle of associates to dictate to us how high we jump. When I was in the 6th grade and the teacher asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, and she had everybody write an assignment on a piece of paper, I wrote down on a piece of paper I wanted to be on TV. She called everybody's name and had them stand up at their desk, and when she got to mine, she said, "Little Stevie, come up to the front of the class." I'm thinking this is a great moment for me. I've written something on my paper so wonderful that it's better than all the rest. I'm going up to get a gold star. I got up there, she said, "Why did you write that on your paper?" And I said, "Because that was our assignment for today." She said, "But why did you write it on your paper, though?" I said, "Because I want to be on TV." Then she just started breaking me down. Who do you know on TV? Anybody in this school ever been on TV? No, ma'am. Anybody in your family ever been on TV? No, ma'am. She just destroyed me in front of these cats. I thought I was getting the gold star, found out I wasn't. I was heartbroken. She reported me to my parents, and I'm being a smart aleck in class, sent me home with the note pinned on me. I got home, I'm thinking I'm in a world of trouble. My mom tells my dad that I've been a smart aleck in class, that I'm writing down stuff that's unrealistic. He said, "Well, what did you want to be, son?" I said, "I wrote on my paper, I want to be on TV." He looked at my mother and said, "Well, what's wrong with that?" She said, "Because the teacher says that's unreasonable." He said, "How does she know?" And that was the first moment that I found out that my father, who had a 3rd grade education, who my mother taught to read and write, I said, "Man, this guy's on to something." So he told me what did she want you to write? I said, "A policeman or fireman or ball player." She said, "Write that on the paper and give it back to her." She said, "But every morning when you wake up, take your paper, put it in your drawer. Read your paper every morning when you wake up, and read your paper every night before you go to bed. If you turn your TV on today, the little boy in the 6th grade is on TV." Very true statement. Because my father informed me, "Son, take the lid off of your jar." And that's what the book is about, is to help people understand no matter who you are, no matter where you are in life, you can take the lid off of your job. And if you're wondering if you still have the lid on in your life, here are some clues that's going to let you know that the lid is still on. If you're not excited about waking up in the morning, if you're sitting around bored out of your mind, if you got time to do everything anybody asks you to do, you probably got the lid on. If when you tell your dreams to all your friends, it makes sense to them, you got your lid on, man. Your dreams should not make sense to everybody. You got to say something that make people go, how you going to do that? That's when you got the lid off. And if I were you, I'd do that. I'd take the lid off. Makes sense to me, don't it? We'll be right back, folks.
So as we're leaping into the new year, as little fleas, I'm just kidding. I want you to think, what do you believe that you can do? Where are my bold graduates in here? How many bold graduates we have? Oh, we got a room full. Anybody remember point far? Point far. So your programming leads to your thoughts, leads to your feelings, leads to your actions, which then lead to your results. So if you're having trouble in the results department, you've got to go back to the actions department. Are you doing the actions that you need to take to get the results that you want to get? If you're having trouble in the actions department, you've got to go back to the feelings around what you're doing. What are you thinking? How are you feeling about it? And then you've got to reverse back until you find the root of the issue, right? Point far. Your programming leads to your thoughts, leads to your feelings, to your actions, and then to your results. So I had the great privilege of heading to Costa Rica for Christmas. And one of the things, the biggest lessons that I learned down there, pura vida. Does anybody know what that means? Paul? Pura vida is used for everything. It's a greeting, right? It's an answer to any question you ask. If you don't know what to say pura vida. And it basically means simple life, pure life in Spanish. And the thing that I learned there is that nobody was rushing around. Nobody was angry. It might take you 2 hours to eat a meal, but that was okay. You might get your check that day, you might not. The speed limit is much lower. There's no hostility. And that's something that I wanted to bring back to you this year. So in order to be that way, we also have to be disciplined, right? So we have to know what we're after, and we have to be productive in the time that we're supposed to be productive. That way we can truly relax and disconnect. We had a couple of you all that were able to disconnect over the holidays, and it feels good. And are you truly, truly disconnecting, right? So to be disciplined, I wanted to give you the 4, 5, 6 of being a real estate agent. Are you ready? So what are your 4 key activities? Can anybody guess? It's not that. We'll get to that later. I heard a lead generation in the crowd, and it's kind of in that, but it's the basic activity of being a real estate agent. So number 1 is to grow your business, right? Just grow your business, that's all. Grow your referral resources. Number 2, grow your allied resources. Number 3. And then communicate with your sphere consistently. That's your 4. So key activities: grow your business, build your sphere, grow your referral resources, grow your allied resources, and communicate with your sphere consistently. Now, how do we do all that? Can anybody guess? What is the discipline that leads you to being able to do your key activities? It starts with a T, and the second word starts with a B. Time blocking. Yes, I heard it in the crowd. All right. So what are the things, Cindy, that we time block? Number 1, conversations with people, lead generation. Number 2, lead follow-up. Running appointments. Running appointments. Number 4, negotiating contracts. And scripts and role play. And doesn't necessarily have to be in that order. So ideally you do your conversations, right? Your conversation starters and role play. Lead generation, conversations with people. I like to call it that. Lead generation is just such a dirty little word. It's conversations with people is all it is. Just talk to people. Conversation follow-up, lead follow-up. Time for appointments, running of appointments, and negotiating deals or transactions. So that's your 5. You got your 4, your 5, your 6 recruiting sources. Anybody start me off there? It's a circle. It's in the MREA, a circle surrounded by a circle. You've got your general public, your haven't met group. You've got your target group, which is also a haven't met group. These are in your outsides of the circle. And the closer you get towards the inside of the circle, the stronger those leads become. Your network met group. So that might be a church group, that might be a book club, motorcycle riding group back there. Your allied resources, your advocates, who would advocate for you? Clients, previous clients. Yeah, exactly. And then your core advocates. And usually there's about 5 of those. So who is not only going to advocate for you, but they're going to go around tapping people on the shoulder saying, hey, use this person as a real estate agent. So when we talk about time blocking, and we talk about being disciplined, and then we also talk about living a simple life, pura vida, and doing the things that fuel your soul, I wanted to take you to page 114 of The One Thing. Who all in here has read The One Thing? That's a trick question in KW. If you're ever asked if you've read The One Thing or the MREA, you just always raise your hand. Yep, I've read it. So The One Thing is a great little book on doing the most important things to getting you the results that you desire. And page 114 is the 7 circles. Is anybody familiar with the 7 circles? So if you look at these circles, you've got your spiritual life, your physical health, your personal life, your key relationships, your job, your business, and your finances. Somebody ate their chicken over here. I love it. Physical health, right? So anybody at the end of 2021 or even the middle or maybe even the beginning feel burnout? Just feel burnout? Yeah, I see some hands raised. Where on your calendar do you have these 7 things time blocked? And that was an aha for me this morning. I'm real good at time blocking my job and time blocking, you know, the as 18,000th Zoom meeting that I've got to attend. And yet I don't have my key relationships on my calendar, right? I don't have my physical health on the calendar. It's been assumed. And then what happens when it's assumed is that it's real easy to let that drift off. And if you don't have these 7 things in some sense of counterbalance, that is a recipe for burnout. That's a recipe for burnout. So then we go all the way back to point far. Your programming leads to your thoughts, leads to your feelings, to your actions, and to your results. And then that's what gets us to where we're at. When's the last time that you did something that caused you to grow or really fueled your soul? I stayed in Liberia the last 2 nights in a hostel. It was about $13 American USD. It was literally a place to lay my head and take a quick cold shower. What an experience. I ended up taking a ride back to friends of my taxi driver and had the opportunity to be welcomed into a home, what we would call a shack. They had 5 people living in a 1-bedroom, barely running water. And they were so grateful that I was there and non-judgmental of their circumstances. And it showed me how much that we have so much here. We have so much here. So when's the last time that you really got outside of your comfort zone and experienced the world from somebody else's view? The children were happy and clean. They fed me the best food I've ever eaten, I think. Not sure exactly what some of it was, but it tasted great. And I just think about that experience and how much value it's given me to bring back to you guys and to all the people that we deal with. So again, where's that lid in your life that Steve talked about? And are you jumping just shy of it? And that doesn't have to be some monumental, like go out and make $2 million this year, right? I always talk about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Gary Keller interviewed the top real estate agents across the country at that time before Keller Williams in order to write that book. And he took their best practices, but their best practices work for 5 transactions. The best practices work for 500 transactions. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent is about you. And in my mind, how does a millionaire live? Free, without worry, without the pressure. And that might be different for you. How does a millionaire live? So think about that going into the new year. Pura vida, feliz año. We've got some departmental updates that I think we're gonna transition into. 2021, we added 73 agents to this wonderful Keller Williams Central firm. We retained 90% of the folks that were producing. That's because of you guys. It takes a village, right? So thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for believing in us and our organization. I do this because Keller Williams has changed everything for me, changed the game for me. And if I have the ability to pour that back into the people that I come into contact with, I'll do that any chance that I get. And I'm not perfect. I don't respond to every text message. I miss a few emails every now and then. So I'm just so grateful for you guys understanding and hanging with us and believing in the same vision that I believe in. Tim, we wouldn't be eating today if it wasn't for you. So thank you very much. I will pass the mic to you for a minute. Tell us what's going on in the mortgage world.
Yes. Thank you for having me. My name is Tim Stratton with Cross Country Mortgage. For those of you who do not know who I am, when Emily asked me last week if I'd be interested in sponsoring this team meeting, I said yes, because I love doing the first meeting of the year. I think I've done it the last 2 or 3 years, so I love doing that. So for those of you that have used me in the past, thank you. The last 2 years they've been the most successful 2 years of my career. I know for a lot of other people, for our company. This past year, it slowed down a little bit, obviously, because the rates went up from the year before and we just didn't have enough inventory. I mean, if we had the inventory, we probably all would be retiring after last year. But so thank you for that. I want to talk about that and I have a lot to go over, so I'm going to try and talk fast, even though I already do. So I'll talk a little bit about the industry and a little bit about cross-country mortgage. Cross-country mortgage has been in existence since 2003. In the last 5 years, we have had unbelievable growth. The reason we do that is because, first of all, we're in all 50 states. So if you have a loan that's in a different state and I'm not able to help you with, I can find someone that will help you with. I've helped a couple of realtors get deals in Georgia done, things like that. I'm also licensed personally in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. So if you have anything in that area, I can help you out there. Across country as a whole, we're in all 50 states. Our growth over the last 5 years has been unbelievable. I think we became, we went it, I think we're like number 8 or number 9. We popped the top 10 of privately held companies in the United States because of our growth. And a couple of reasons for that. One is our expanded approval products. What that is you have your normal loans that everybody can do. You have your FHA, your VA, your conventional, USDA loans like that. And we all start off at the same rates. We all start off with the same products. Then it's just a matter of what you can do past that. For example, with us, we can go up to 57% debt to income on a FHA. We can go up to 61 to 62% on a VA. We can go as low as 580 credit score on FHA and VA. A lot of places stop at 50% and won't do that. We also have what we call expanded approval products. Those are products, I don't like to use this term, but they're almost like the old subprime units. But the difference between subprime and what we have today is you need money, you need reserves, you need down payment. I can almost get any loan done. If it can be done, we can do it. But more than likely, the customer has to have some sort of down payment. I'll give you an example. We had a new construction closed last week. They were working on it for 6-7 months. Well, when it was time to come to closing, they had to re-pull the credit. The lady's credit score dropped from a 580, which we had approved, down to a 522. Initially, I thought the deal was dead and I didn't know what else to do. Well, then we looked at it. The reason her score dropped is because she closed her credit card. She had an old collection pop up from years ago because it saw that she was in the process of doing this old collection, but everything on her credit was clean. She paid everything on time. So we did what we call a manual underwrite. What a manual underwrite means is we're not going to go with the normal Freddie, Fannie, or government approvals. We'll prove it on our own. And we were able to get that lady done because, one, she was putting 10% of her own money down. She had reserves and her credit score was low, but she paid everything on time in the last 12 months. So we were able to get that done. Most places that deal would be dead. And quite frankly, I thought it was dead myself until my manager looked at it. So I was a little surprised on that also. We also got a deal done, similar situation. It was a husband and wife. The husband was here on a work. He had a work permit. It was his very first one. I told him I needed your first one and I needed it to be expired and then have your next one. That's the way I've always done it in the past. Well, it turns out he had told me that was the case, but of course, when I got everything, that wasn't the case. Another new construction, he'd been turned down by Quicken, brought it to me. I was able to get the deal done because, one, he was sponsoring his wife, which was here on a work permit, and we had the company write a letter stating that they will be being renewed in the future. And that was a new one for me too. I didn't think we could do that one either, but was able to do that. There's a lot of that in this area. I actually had someone waiting on the back burner who was going to do that. And I said, let's see if I get this deal done first before we move on to get that deal done. And we were able to do that. So that's just an example of some of the things that, that we're able to do. A lot of agents ask me, how can I help these loans close more effectively? I have some examples because here's what's slowing loans down right now. We're back to 30 days or less. Okay. I have closed them in the past. I've closed them in 14 days or less. Can't do that now, but I could still have some done at 21 days. But what's holding us up are a few things that you guys can help us with. One of the biggest thing right now is HOA info. If you don't have that on the contract, we're searching for it. We're going to the listing agent. We're going to you. We're going to the attorney. We're looking around for it. Then when we get it, they're not the easiest people to deal with. So then we got another delay in dealing with them. So if you can get that information up front and put it on your contract or email it to me, that's a great help. That helps speed up the process. The other thing is appraisal. Legally, I'm not allowed to order appraisal until the customer signs the initial disclosure. So you send me a contract today, I enter in the system, I send a disclosure to them. If they sign it today, we can order the appraisal tomorrow. What happens is they don't look at their email. They say, I want to look at this. Now we're delayed. Then they sign it. Then they have to pay for it. Then they wait another couple extra days. That's where you have to help the customer say, listen, keep checking your emails. You're going to get, and I do this too. I'm not asking you to do my job for me. I'm just asking you to help with it because this is going to speed up the process for all of us. Get the initial disclosure signed quickly, order the appraisal, pay for it. We're off and running because appraisals are taking 21 days now. There's just no way around it. I've actually had my VA appraisals, which I know a lot of people are afraid of. I've had VA appraisals come back quicker because VA appraisals are done by specific VA appraisers around here. So there's only a handful of them and that's all they do. So I've closed a lot of VA deals lately. It's hit or miss. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. In the last 2 or 3 months, I think I've done 6 or 7 VA deals and all those appraisals have come back really fast because that's all they do. So let's get the due diligence out at least 21 days. If we get it back quicker, great. No problem. Values. I know you guys are always concerned about values. I've been lucky with the values. I've had things recently come in at higher value. I just had one come in this morning. There was a 419 offer and the appraisal came in at 450. So, exactly. I was a little surprised about that too. So let's get those done and back to us as quickly as possible. Let's see, what else is some other things I want to talk about? Manufactured homes. I can do manufactured homes. I can do them as an FHA loan, 580 minimum credit score. I can do them as a VA loan, 580 minimum credit score. I can do them as a conventional, 640 minimum credit score. The problem with manufactured homes, there's a lot of them around here, and there's a lot of good ones around here. I know a lot of people don't like them, but unfortunately, that's what's available right now. So if you're going to list them or you're going to have a buyer, here's things you have to look for. And these are what hold up manufactured homes. HUD labels. When you go out there and you see a house, make sure it has a HUD label on. There's 2 HUD labels, one on each opposite corners. Check those out and make sure they're there. If they're not there, let me know right away because I have to order something through a system that everyone has to use. We can get them back in 2 days, but to get them back in 2 days is like $300. So I would rather have, and this is, a charge to the customer. So I'd rather have enough time to order them. If we order in time, they're like $100 if we have time for them. There was a realtor, Keller Williams realtor that we were trying to put an offer on. The house didn't have HUD tags because what happens is if you only have one owner, a lot of times either they put siding on, tear them off, paint over, whatever, and you can't find them. And if you can't find them, you can't sell the house. It's a cash deal. That's the only way you can sell the house. Can't get a loan on it. Not from me, not from anyone. So make sure you have your HUD labels. Also, inside the house, there's a certificate. If you don't have that certificate, we have to order that too, just like the HUD labels. So if you know it's not there, let's order it right away. What always ends up happening is I don't know until I get the appraisal. When the appraiser tells me that they're not there, then I have to order it. So if we're 21 days out, we're closing in 30, now I have to reorder. That's going to push closing back. The other thing is foundation report. All manufactured homes require a foundation report. I usually order that. I usually order it right away. So that's not a big deal. Just know that that is a cost. I have a local guy that charges $200. Most companies charge $450. This guy's really good. He gets out there. He's not the best communicator, but he gets out there in enough time. When I order it quickly, he'll get it back to us. But just know that that is a charge that most people will have to pay for. And last thing, if this is a problem for us, it's a great problem. They've increased the jumbo amount to 625. Because we did so many loans as a company, we were actually able to do 625 the last 2 or 3 months of the year. We obviously don't get a lot of those around here, so I didn't have any, but I'm closing my first one this month. It was the first one of the year, so I'm excited about that. So if you know anybody that has it, so what that means is they can get the same rate as someone 625 and below. It's not a jumbo. You don't have to jump through more hoops. You don't have to get 2 appraisals. Those are just things that will help, moving forward into the future. One other thing I want to talk about, pull-through rate. My pull-through rate is like 99%. If I tell you I'm going to get the deal done, I'm going to get the deal done. But I also I'm very transparent, and if you talk to people in here who's done deals with you, they'll let you know. If it's going to be an obstacle, I'm going to tell you up front what it is. If there's going to be problems, I'm going to tell you. And I would tell you, if you want to go on this journey, we will, but let your customer know and you be aware, because I had one guy going back to these expandable approval products. They had a 1-year foreclosure. They just lost a foreclosure a year ago, but they had a 700 credit score and they had 35% to put down. And I didn't, first one I'd ever done. I said, it was a $350,000 deal, so it was worth it. I said, do you want to try it? I'll try it. Is the customer okay with it? If it doesn't go through, we ended up getting that deal done. That was first one I did like that. So I will let you know up front. I will let your customer know up front. Here's what the challenges we're going to have. If you're willing to go through it, great. I don't want you getting mad at me if it doesn't go through, but I'm telling you what's going to happen as we go through. And if I think I can do it, I'll tell you I think I can do it. If it's 50-50, I'll tell you it's 50-50. And if I think I can't do it and somebody else can, I will send them to you. You know, the credit union has one credit score. If I have a customer who only has one credit score and it's a bad one and I can't do it, go to the credit union. I will send them there. I'll be very transparent with you about that. So if anything like that happens, just let me know. You get any turn downs from anywhere, self-employed people, anything like that. We all have the same rules when it comes to self-employed. However, a lot of loan officers can't find extra income in that self-employment. So come to me. We can do 1-year tax returns. If a person's been, and this is great for realtors, and I've done this for a couple of realtors. If you've been in business 7 years, and let's just say you had your license for 7 years, but let's just say you've been serious for the last 2 or 3 years. Well, this past year has been your best year. I'll just take that 1-year income and use it. I don't have to worry about 2 years or 3 years, 4 years. We just take the most recent year, use that income. It's a great deal for realtors, but also for other people self-employed. And if I have someone like this just past year, we had someone who didn't claim enough income. So what we're doing is we moved the closing to January. Once he gets his income tax returns, he's gonna let me look at him. I'm gonna tell him what to claim. Obviously, he's gonna have to pay taxes on it, but so be it. You can get the house, tell you what to claim. Next year, I don't care what you claim. You got in the house and that's it. So, all right, sorry about that. I know I talked a lot, but I wanted to get a lot in today. Again, thanks everyone for last year and the last 2 years. Yes, Cindy. No, not a visa. Anyone could do visa. Oh, yeah. Cindy's asking about the work permit. It's called an EAD, employment. I forgot what it's called, employment something. But basically, they're just here working for that company. It's not a visa, because a visa anyone can do. Okay. So, and basically, the company is allowing him to work here. The United States is allowing him to work here for that company. Now, what we were able to do in the past is if they've had one and it expired and they're starting on a new one, because you need 3 years out, we were able to use that new one. But now we're able to do it with just the original one, which we were not able to do before. We're able to do it with the original one, but now we have to get proof from the company that they're willing to do it, because these applications take forever. And a lot of times what ends up happening, their old one expires before the new one even comes in. So you have crossover. Now, if the new one comes in, then great. It's no brainer. Most companies can do that. Not most, but some. But we're able to do it either way now. So.
And these are primarily like contract workers, especially contract workers.
Yeah. Like both of these people were in IT for a company out of Michigan, and we were able to get it done. So, and actually technically not contract workers. They were W-2'd. They're W-2'd employees, but they don't have a visa and they're here on a work permit. So.
Thank you.
Yes.
Couple of questions.
Yep.
The first one, in the beginning, you were saying that Cross Country has been around since 2003. How
Yeah.
long have you been with them?
I've been with them 10 years.
Okay. And second one, I didn't hear you mention when you were talking about mobile homes, whether or not they'll go USDA.
The question is, will mobile homes go USDA? No. I don't care what anyone tells you. No. If it's a new one, no, don't do it. And if it's a modular, they'll do it if it's new. But every time I've tried to do one, you can only do an off-frame modular USDA. And what that means is when they deliver it, they literally take it off a frame and put it on a foundation. To me, it's no different, but USDA will not do it. But every time I've tried to do it, even the realtor told me it was off frame. The homeowner told me it was off frame. We got the appraisal and it's not off frame. And the deals, I've lost 2 or 3 deals because of that, even though I tell them up front, are you sure? Are you 100% sure? So I would just say no USDA to modular unless it's brand new, and no USDA to manufacture ever.
Does the FHA also require structural engineer for manufactured homes?
That's the foundation certification. Yeah.
A lot of new agents don't know that. So
Yes.
repeat that.
Yeah, so for manufactured homes, there's a structural engineer that has to go out and do a foundation certification. I have a local guy that does it for $200. A lot of them charge $400 to $450, but yeah, that has to be done every time. And I usually order that, so you guys usually don't hear about it, and maybe that's why some people don't know about it. I usually just take care of that. But the HUD tags and the certificate, everyone needs to know about that. It does manufactured homes. So I thought I saw another hand go up back here, or no? Yeah.
I just want to say, I've used him the last couple times, and literally call him on a Saturday, 4 o'clock, need an approval, always answers his phone, calls back right away. So
Yeah, I like to, I try to be accessible as possible. Again, if you haven't used me, just give me a shot. If I drop the ball, that's my fault. But I try to be accessible. I always joke that I'm here. I'll answer your calls every day except for Sunday 1 to 4 when I'm watching football. I'll call you back afterwards. My Browns were eliminated from the playoffs, so now I don't even care about that anymore. So you can call me anytime you want. And college football is over. So, except for the Tide in Georgia. And one other thing is, and I always end this or say this at some point. I told you all the things we can do, all the tough loans and all that thing. I can still do 20% down, 800 credit scores. Okay, I want you to know that. You can still send me those. I will give you a good rate. Oh, one last thing. Origination fees. Most of my competitors have a 1% origination fee. Example, you're selling a $300,000 house, they got to charge $3,000. We charge a flat fee of $1,490. Right now, it seems like everyone's buying new construction. In the past, I could not touch some of the new construction stuff. The $600,000 loan that I'm doing, that builder is out of Raleigh. They were given $8,000 in credits. Normally, I couldn't touch that, but it's a $600,000 loan. So what I'm doing is they charge $6,000 origination fee. I charge $1,490. So right there, I'm already up $4,500. So now I got to give them a credit for $3,500. So I'm able to give them a credit for $3,500 because it's a $600,000 deal. That's only half a point. That's not a great expense. I mean, it's an expense because it's $3,000, but it's not. So I was able to match that one. Okay. Another builder locally that gives $5,000. Okay. Again, it was a $400-some-thousand home. I'm able to match that $5,000 because I'm already saving $2,500 off the origination or $3,500. Plus I'm able to give them a half credit. So if you have any new construction deals, some of the builders here have their own mortgage companies. That's not their bread and butter. They're not in the business to do loans. They just have it there because they can make more money on it. That's like me going out and building homes. I'm not going to do it. That's not my bread and butter. Let me have an opportunity to match those. In the past, I couldn't match them because they were giving $5,000 on a $200,000 home. Couldn't match that. It's just not able to touch that. Most lenders and banks can't. But now with the prices going up the way they are, and with the the rates and everything, I'm able to match a lot of those. So please give me the opportunity to do those as well. So that's it. Thank you guys again for everything. I really appreciate it.
Tim, I just want to say thank you so much. You're such a valued partner of ours. And the bottom line is, I've said this before, that there's a lot of ins and outs to the mortgage business and getting things approved and originating and underwriting and all these things. And it's not our area of expertise. There's no way we can stay on top of it every day like you do. So just turn to our trusted resources like Tim for those questions that you've had and to help you navigate the best deal for your clients. And I believe that I can say this for you, that if you're up against another lender and you can't provide what's being provided by the other lender, that you would gladly let that deal go in the best interest of the client. Yeah. So, and that's the benefit of working with just amazing people like Tim. So thank you. All right. Emily, our lovely Emily Allred, would you like to come do your updates?
Hello. I have a few just quick updates. Professional services. who Keller Williams Professional Services is rocking it. If anybody needs help with listings or contract to close, please get with me and I'll be glad to be able to talk, answer some questions. I also want to let you know the office bills. Your office bills will now be due on the 15th of each month. This does not involve you doing anything if you're being auto drafted. I'm just giving you the information. They're going to start being coming out of your bank account on the 15th. Kent Temple will be with us in our market center on January 19th from 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock. He will be teaching leverage, build your top team talent. He gives great information and he's January 19th. It's $25 to attend. Just please let me know if you're interested and I will put you down. Yes, he is. Yes, build your team talent is what his topic is. And he, besides is easy to look at, he's a great teacher. We also have the winter ball, which will be on January 21st from 7 until 10 that evening. That is a Friday night. I'm sorry. Winter ball, January 21st from 7 to 10. This will be at the Alamance Country Club. This will be semi-formal. You will be receiving an email this afternoon from Sign Up Genius. If you're planning to attend, please respond to that. We need a head count. Alamance Country Club, semi-formal. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be dancing, food, and socialization. That's all I got. Quick and easy, right? Easy. Or you want to come up? Come on, Darshan. Oh, I'm sorry. Wasn't paying attention.
You're all right. Just so if I forget something, you can remind me what we got. So the PC department has had a lot of success since about the middle of November. We brought in approximately 5 million in new business, and about 75% of that closed by the end of the year. So if you got an agent that you've sponsored that you need to get into production and want to get that downline check, send them to us. We'll get them into production for you. We've got about 75% of that closed. We got another 1.2 million in 2022 business. So it's coming in quickly. Had 9 first-time closings for some of those agents, brand new agents closing their first transaction, 9 of those. Congratulations to them. We added 10 new agents to the program in December. And let's see, we've added 3 new leads programs. One of them came in October, November timeframe, and we've added 2 since then. So we've got 3 lead programs and have handed out to the elite program, which is our baby agents, we call them, over 100 leads since the middle. Full service agents, yeah. The elite program, but we've given out over 100 leads to them since the middle of November. So really excited about that program. They've converted some of it, they're getting their first business. So it's exciting. Again, so if you've sponsored somebody into Keller Williams and they're not got anything closing or they don't have any business going and you need to get them into production, so you get your downline check, get them to us. We'll get them closing.
Thank you, ma'am. Don't forget, we've got the KW School of Real Estate in partnership with Kaplan for free real estate school. There is a quick Google form for them to fill out, or you can fill it out for them. If you need that, just reach out to me via email or text message. I'll be happy to get that to you. Quick Google form, it asks who sent them to the School of Real Estate. That way I can protect your sponsorship. What we're doing from there is then they get routed to the next career night. If that time is not convenient for them or the day is not convenient to them, it's okay. We work it out. We'll do one-on-one or small group sessions. It just is required that we have a one-on-one conversation with those folks in order to give them the 100% discount for Kaplan. So thank you, ladies. Also, tell me about the one that I am going to make you speak, but I won't make you stand up. Tell me about the referral lead that one of your elite agents got.
So one of our referral, one of our leads that came in, he accidentally clicked in North Carolina. He's a Texas seller. So she was just going to wash it off and not think anything of it. And when we reached back out, we found out it was a $1.5 million listing. And then he was downsizing turnaround to buy. So we obviously kept that and referred it to a Texas agent. But so don't discount those things that come in that aren't in your area. They're great. And this turned out to be huge.
Well, and that's the benefit of having a coach also, is helping you see your blind spots sometimes, or seeing something in a way that you may not have seen it. So lots of coaching options available, from in-house to MAPS. There's MAPS group coaching options that are a very, very valuable resource. They also do a ton of free seminars and calls, which we've been sending out over the course of the holidays. I've got a couple other little things. Our beautiful broker in charge does not have any updates for you today. And our assistant broker in charge also, we love these ladies, so we'll let them take their downtime for the moment. All right, last but not least, I would like to take this time to announce our 2022 Associate Leadership Council. Is there anybody in here that does not know what the ALC is? Awesome, got some hands. So the Associate Leadership Council was formed early in the days of Keller Williams. Gary Keller started the company, and he had a group of his top agents leave. And he went to his trusted advisors at that time, and he said, first of all, he hired a consultant. He went to his trusted advisors and he said, how do I create a company that nobody would want to leave? Hence the formation of the Associate Leadership Council. So the ALC is the voice for the agents. They vote on important things that impact the agent body. One of the things that's different about Keller Williams from a traditional brokerage is that no important decision, very important decision that impacts the agents, can be made by one person. Whereas if you go to a traditional brokerage, the broker is sort of the be all end all. They make all the decisions all the way down to what sort of toilet paper is bought and who puts it on the roll. So please give these folks a warm, warm welcome to be your voice for your agent body over the course of 2022. We've got Miss Christy May, Tammy Eggleston, Deanna Dick, Christy Donaldson, Amy Klutz, Emily Overman, Carrie McCann, and Ethiel Estes. Can't wait to have them on board. Right. Be sure. And just so you know, the entire top 20% was invited. So you get it, you always get an invitation to attend the ALC clinic, to explore what the ALC is and if that might be a fit for you. So make it into that top 20% and you will have the opportunity to be a voice for the agents as well. That's right. Also, Dylan graciously put a card on the back table. I'm not sure if everybody knows, Christy May has had a very big loss. She lost her dad recently. So there's a card back there that is started by the Sunshine Committee. If anybody wants to sign that for her, we'd love for you to do so that we can get that out to her. And then last little thing that I'd like to say is that there is a lot of illness resurging right now. We had quite a few folks out of the office last week. Stay home if you're not feeling well. It's okay. Nobody is requiring you to come in. Everything that we do is done electronically or in person. So take that into consideration, even if you feel like you have allergies or something like that. I know for many of you, that's kind of how it starts out. You feel like, well, maybe I'm not sure if my nose is running or not, right? And then also keep those thoughts or keep those people in your thoughts and prayers. It's never fun to be ill. So do we have any questions? Anything else that you would like to say as we go into the new year? Oh, got one. Oh, yes, and Ignite starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you're not sure how to access the Market Center calendar, please get with one of us. We'll be happy to help you do that. You can even merge it with your calendar on your phone. That way everything shows up on there for you. So I look forward to seeing you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Yes.
Cody Gibson is doing ESO next Tuesday, if anybody.
Yes. Oh, great. That's a great course too. Cody Gibson is doing expansion systems orientation, operations, orientation, one or the other. Either way, ESO next week in Charlotte, right on Tuesday. If anybody is interested in doing that, no matter whether you plan to expand your business or not, it will still help you in building the core foundation of your business as it stands. Great course, and he's a great, very knowledgeable instructor as well. Well, well. All right, any other thoughts, questions, thank yous, blessings going into the new year? Well, thank you so much for being here today. Love y'all. Go forth, sell something. Pura vida.